Hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play of The Colonel's Bequest, the first Laura Bow game. We are in Act 7, very late in the night. It's 1:15 in the morning. I'm tired just thinking about that. It's actually 9:15 here where I'm recording, but I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sleepy. And I think that's actually one of the things I really like about the atmosphere in this game because, the first time I played this game, I was struck with how the weight of time really gets to you with this game. It's very effective at creating a claustrophobic atmosphere, at feeling trapped. People won't listen to you when you try to tell them things. And yeah, I see people, joke about how ridiculous it is and everyone deserves to die and because they're not listening and they don't understand that they're in a horror movie. And to a certain extent that's true. It is kind of silly that you can't, by the fifth or sixth body, it's kind of frustrating that you can't just literally drag one down the stairs yelling, "Body here! Dead body! Come see the dead body that I found!" And, get everybody in the same room and go, "Oh my god, that is a dead body." It is frustrating that you can't do that because if I were in a closed murder mystery situation like this, and if bodies kept disappearing on me, I think that is what I would do. Either that, or I would run out into the swamp and try to hide there until everything sorted itself out. I might do that as well. It's hard to say. But this is why I'm not a detective in a closed room murder mystery. So as long as we accept the genre convention that Laura is here to document what happens more than to prevent or alter it, then once we have that, the atmosphere is actually really, really good in a sense of it's claustrophobic. It has a crushing sense of dread. The weight of the time feels very real to me. Every time that clock moves, it's like, nah. And you just genuinely feel tired. There's a part of you that's like, oh my god, I just want to go to bed and somebody else can tell me what happened. But we're not going to do that because that's not the kind of intrepid heroine that we are. Celie sits in a pew before the pulpit, her head bent in fearful prayer. I don't know how much Celie knows what's going on, but she's not a fool. There have been surely some sounds out here in the swamp away from the house. The house has the Victrola, and that's been going for a lot of the night, and the billiards, and I can see how, some of the struggles that have been happening, people maybe didn't hear, but out here in the swamp where it's quieter, and the noises that are out there are night noises that she would know. Maybe she's heard some whacks and thumps and grunts and as bodies are strangled and hit over the head with rolling pins and dragged to their demise down the laundry chute. So Celie may not know what's happening, but she knows something bad is happening. "What are you doing here, girl? Something mighty terrible is happening. Evil spirits is all around us. I think we're gonna die before this night is over." Can we pray? We can. Suddenly feeling very pious, you kneel at the pulpit and pray. Hey, maybe that'll help. Or maybe it won't. Can we tell Celie about, I don't know, Jeeves? Tell about Fifi and Jeeves. Celie is not listening to you. She's visibly frightened and deep in prayer. So, okay, that's unfortunate. But it is what it is. Let's go back to the dollhouse. It is 1:30, and Lillian is back here playing with her dolls. We have a visitor, darling. Sit up straight now. Lillian is acting very bizarre indeed. Not only is she playing with the old dolls, but she's treating them as if they were alive. She barely notices you. And there is a blackboard on the wall, which we didn't notice before. You see a small chalkboard. There are 7 tally marks on it. So hold on, let me count. Gertie, Wilbur, Gloria, Clarence, Fifi, and Jeeves. That's 6. And Ethel, that's 7. So that's kind of scary, actually. 7 people have died, and there are 7 tally marks on Lil's blackboard. There's not many people left. Rudy is alive. Celie is alive. And Colonel Henri is alive. And of course I'm alive. It's not clear whether whoever is killing people would consider us a threat. We're not in the Colonel's will. And we haven't... In theory, we have nothing to do with the family. Maybe we could go to bed and just go to sleep and everything would be fine. That'd be interesting if we just slept through the game and woke up and everyone was dead. I'm not sure what would happen. Rudy is in our room. He's looking under the bed. Rudy appears to be frantically searching for something in your room. He seems to be very upset. Beat it, kid. This ain't none of your business. Can we show him the diary? He's too busy looking for something to talk to you. Do we have anything else interesting worth showing him? I don't think so. Ethel's room is empty because Ethel is gone. It's Act 7, and we have one more cracker than I felt we should. So did we feed Polly? Did I mess up an act? Gosh dang it, if I messed up an act, I don't know what I'll do. I'll be unhappy because I think that affects getting a perfect score. Feed cracker to Polly. Oh, please don't let me mess this up. Sleep tight, my pretties. In the basement. In the basement. Okay, phew. So we did give Polly a cracker in time, and that was scary because we have been to the basement and we know which pretties are being asked to sleep tight there. And again, that doesn't really sound like something Rudy would say. It doesn't sound like something Henri or Clarence would say. Uh-oh, a bad feeling comes over you as you look around this room. So, technically, we already know Clarence is dead. We found him in the bathtub. We've got blood. But what we haven't been able to do is read his notebook. Because that set the time forward and brought us around into Act 8. You notice that just one page has been written on, and today's date, March 27th, 1925, heads it. Curiously, you read the rest. It says, I'm terribly apprehensive about what's going on here. I can't say why. Just call it a bad sensation. But as the evening wears on, I'm feeling more and more alone. Where's Wilbur? Where's Gertie? Where's Gloria? Could they have left without me? Is there a way to leave the island that I'm not aware of? Still, the spine-tingling feeling won't leave, and frankly, I'm scared. Okay, so here we are in Act 8, which is, I believe, the last act of A Desperate Man. Old joke. First and foremost, let us go feed our last cracker to Polly. So, okay, sure enough, there's 7 crackers, 8 acts, but you can't get the crackers until Act 2, so it all works out numerically. Give cracker to Polly. Heard anything good, Polly? Gotta get the gun! The gun! Okay, unclear who said that. Could be Lillian, could be Henri, could be Rudy. It probably wasn't Celie. She's staying well away from all this, which is probably the best survival strategy there is. Beauregard seems agitated about something. Maybe you should investigate. There's a note on the door. Look at note. You read the note. It says, "Meet me in the hedge garden." Oh no! A sudden gust of wind blows away the note. Well, crumbs. That was going to happen even if we tried to pick up the note, so. No evidence for us. It would be interesting if we could have learned something about the writer's handwriting. So, alright, who's going to the hedge garden? Let's just walk there blithely and hope we're fine. Uh-oh. 2:15. That is Lillian. Oh no! Someone has shot Lillian to death in the hedge garden. Quite afraid now, you feel greatly for your own life. You notice the silver derringer lying on the ground next to Lillian's feet. Let's get the gun. As you stoop to pick up the derringer, your eye happens to fall upon a bullet not far from Lillian's hand. Well, let's get the bullet. Look at gun with monocle. Look at bullet with monocle. Look at Lillian, you can tell by looking at her that Lillian died of a gunshot wound to her chest at point-blank range. This is strange. For some reason, Lillian is dressed in an old army officer's cape, hat, gloves, and boots, just like the clothes we found in the trunk. With trembling hands, you examine Lillian's body and see the horrible gunshot wound to her chest area. What's this? You suddenly find a skeleton key in a pocket of the old army cape. Since it might be useful, you take it with you. And there's something on her feet. Look at boots. The large, muddy-soled army boots look like the old-fashioned kind of 30 years ago. You see a distinct insignia on the boot heels. Look at insignia. After brushing away some of the dried mud, you can plainly see the insignia of an eagle on the boot heel. So we found a footprint with an eagle insignia on it. So it's looking like... So what's happened here? Lillian has been wearing... She had a key to the attic. That's the skeleton key. She got the Colonel's old clothes and has been wandering around outside in those clothes. Which makes sense. If you're going to wander around out here, it's damp, it's muddy, there's puddles everywhere. It makes sense that she'd wear those clothes, not even necessarily to disguise herself, just to keep her nice clothes clean. Someone told her, or she told someone, to meet in the hedge garden. And she was shot with the gun. Either she brought it with her and it was taken from her during a struggle, or somebody ambushed her with the gun and shot her. But if they shot her, it seems strange that she would be the one holding an extra bullet. So maybe she was holding the gun and had an extra bullet to reload if she missed. And instead, the gun was taken from her and she was shot. Maybe? Hard to say. We have a gun and a bullet, though, so we're going to load the gun. That sounded bad. Okay, I think a cat just knocked things over in the other room. I'm not going to go check. Okay. So there's not much left to do in Act 8. There are 3 people left alive on the estate. There's Seelie, who last we checked was in the chapel. I'm not going to go back there. It's kind of a pain to walk. I don't think Seelie is the killer. It's strange that... I have a feeling, and I would need to research it, most of the places where we find bodies, there's actually an alternate location. You can also find a body if you go there first. I kind of feel like maybe that well is a place you can find Gloria's body, but I'm not sure. So, anyway, sorry, I was talking. There are 3 people left alive, to our knowledge. There is Seelie, who is not killing people. There is Colonel Henri, who is kind of a blank slate to us. We don't know him very well, except that both Seelie and Fifi said he's kind. And I guess you would think they would know, although they're also his employees, so they might not feel free to tell anyone who comes along he's a jerk. And then there's Rudy, who we know is a jerk because we've seen him assaulting people all night. Well, just Fifi. Well, Fifi and Clarence, actually. He hit Clarence in the face, and he tried to forcibly kiss Fifi. So we're not a big fan of Rudy. That doesn't mean he's a murderer. You hear scuffling upstairs. Let's go upstairs. You hear scuffling further upstairs. We're not going to go there yet, and I'm pretty sure this is not timed. I hope it's not. We have to go in here first. Wilbur's bag is on the floor. Someone has left the doctor's bag open on the floor. Search bag. Look inside bag. The contents are a mess inside. It looks as if someone has hurriedly searched through it. Okay, that seems bad. Who was hurriedly searching rooms earlier? Rudy was. And... God dang it. That's a random death that can happen if you brush up against the banister too hard. Thank you so much, Sierra. That's why we save our games. So, Rudy was hurriedly searching our room. And it wasn't for the diary, because we tried to show him the diary, and he didn't want anything to do with that. Was he searching for Wilbur's bag? Did he find it? Look at bag. Look inside bag. Lillian killed Wilbur, we're pretty sure. He was one of the tally marks on her blackboard. And he was in the basement with the rest of her quote-unquote pretties. So we're pretty sure Lillian killed Wilbur, which means that Lillian would have been the one to presumably take Wilbur's bag from his bed, which we noticed missing. So is it possible that she took the bag and put it in our room somewhere, and maybe Rudy found it and took it to the Colonel's room? The elevator was gone, so, and the door here is locked, so maybe the Colonel went upstairs through the elevator. Open door. Use key on door. Open door. Oh no! Colonel Dijon and Rudy are in the midst of a fierce struggle. You see a hypodermic needle between them, and it's impossible to tell which of the two men is the aggressor. This is indeed a dangerous situation. So we have a gun. We can choose to either shoot the Colonel or to shoot Rudy. So we have to make a decision about who is innocent. If we don't shoot anyone, if we decide to just let fate handle this, Rudy will win. Which is not really surprising because the Colonel is an elderly, frail, injured old man, and Rudy is a young, strong man who we have seen punch out Clarence and struggle with Fifi earlier. So Rudy is clearly no pushover. So if we don't take a stance, Rudy will win. If we side with Rudy, we will get an ending, and basically he'll inherit everything. He's the last one left, and you'll go home and you'll feel kind of a vague sense of unease about everything that happened, but you know, shit happens. What we're gonna do is we're gonna side with the Colonel because I believe that he is the innocent one. I believe what has happened is that Rudy figured out Lillian was killing people. So he killed her first, which in of itself would not necessarily be the worst thing in the world. He could say that she ambushed him and he had to kill her in self-defense. We don't know who wrote that letter to saying, meet me by the hedge garden. I suspect it was Rudy. Lillian didn't write a note for any of her other murders that we saw. But it's possible that Lillian tried to ambush him. So he could say that he killed her in self-defense and now he's the only one left. Seems what happened is that he ambushed her, which is not really self-defense. That's the exact opposite of self-defense, actually. But in a closed island case where there's absolutely no way to get help or get anyone to help, and it's 2 a.m. and you're incredibly tired, maybe it seemed like a good idea at the time if he couldn't figure out a way to safely restrain her. But it's still not self-defense. But anyway, I believe Rudy ambushed Lillian and killed her before she could kill him, basically. And then decided, you know what? If all the other heirs are dead, I might as well shoot for the moon here, finish the job, and kill Uncle Henri, and then I can take all his money and understandably blame it on Lillian. Because he very easily could say, well, Lillian killed Henri with the hypodermic needle, and then she tried to kill me and I shot her. He could change the order of events. And who's to say he was lying? So, they're struggling, and we're gonna shoot Rudy. That's good music. I hate to just... It was quiet the whole time because I hadn't started the music, but, And, again, can we just say how well animated this was for 1989? I'm impressed. Boom! You have shot and wounded Rudy. Sorry, Rudy. Now the Colonel walks over to us, which, considering tonight, I might be like, stay back. Thank you, young lady. Laura. That was some mighty fine shooting for a gal. I guess I owe you my life, don't I? My nephew was trying to kill me with poison and one of Wilbur's hypodermic needles. You're welcome. Oh, it's terrible what's been happening here tonight. I invite everyone here to tell them about my will, and they end up killing each other over it. Yes. Truthfully, I was keeping my eye on everyone in the house tonight, or so I thought. I didn't see any murders. It wasn't until I met Rudy in my bedroom that he told me what had happened. I couldn't believe it. He told me that my niece, Lillian, had finally gone totally berserk, and out of crazy jealousy was killing everyone that she thought had gotten between her and me. I mean, she pretty much told you that straight up, but she managed to just about murder everyone, until she attacked Rudy with my Derringer. Rudy managed to wrestle the gun from her, and in self-defense killed her instead. Okay. My nephew, seeing as how everyone else was already dead, decided to finish the job by killing me with a hypodermic needle and say I died of a heart attack induced by the terrible deeds that my niece had done. Oh, okay, a heart attack. I can't stand much more of this. Laura, please find Seely and tell her to fire up one of the signal rockets that we use to summon help in emergencies. We had signal rockets? Gosh dang it, why didn't we use those? The next morning, I somehow knew that one day Rudy would run afoul of the law. You've been my loyal servant for many years, Seely, and both Beauregard and Blaze trust you. I've decided to leave all my money to you, provided you take care of my animals for the rest of their lives. Oh, she wasn't at the Of course, sir. I can't think of nothing else I'd rather do. Thank you, sir. Kill him. Stab him in the back. She wasn't at the table when he left everything to the servants and stuff. She wasn't one of them. Miss Bow, I know you found an old Civil War treasure on my estate. Since you so bravely saved my life, I'll let you keep every dime of it for yourself, as a reward. Thanks, I guess. Thank you, Colonel Dijon. That's very kind of you. You know, Beauregard, people are funny creatures. They're greedy, they're rude, and they're selfish. But that's why we live way out here, to get away from them. But we couldn't get away from them completely, could we, boy? No, not completely. But everything will be okay now. I never noticed that before, but Seely was not one of his original bequesters, at least as mentioned in the all of you sitting here. Which is... wow! He was gonna leave it to Fifi and Jeeves and Clarence and... oh, come on. Oh, damn it. I don't think we got all of them. Barely conscious, absent-minded, amateur gumshoe, seasoned PI, and super sleuth. Yes, we will review our notes. Person befriended. So, okay, hold on. Let's look at... okay, your notebook at the end of the game. Person befriended Seely. Took food item from kitchen, Seely's cabinet, and Jeeves' room. We got all of those. Took useful item from body of Lillian, Clarence, and Dr. Wilbur. People found murdered. Lillian, Ethel, Gertie, Gloria, Clarence, Wilbur, Jeeves, and Fifi. Found secret entrance exit in dining room, downstairs hallway, upstairs hallway, billiard room, hedge garden, basement, library, parlor, Clarence and Rudy's room, Gertie and Gloria's room, my room, and the Colonel's room. Objects used more than once. Crackers, crowbar, diary, oil can, monocle. Took object from suitcase of Lillian. Valuable object taken, pouch of jewels. Religious article discovered, Bible. Items requiring close scrutiny. Boot print in mud, sleeping powder bottle, handkerchief, rolling pin, fireplace poker, broken record, glass, cognac decanter, diary, and cigar butt. People with gambling habits, Rudy, Clarence, and Wilbur. People guilty of embezzlement, Clarence and Wilbur. People with a telltale scent, Colonel, Lillian, Clarence, and Fifi. People refusing to sell something, Ethel. Purple romantically involved, the Colonel, Gloria, Clarence, Jeeves, and Fifi. Person wishing to end an affair, Gloria. Embarrassing medical history, Gloria. Objects which change location, Derringer, dagger, cognac decanter, doctor's bag. Ultimate location of most bodies, basement. People who struggled physically, Colonel Dijon, Rudy, Clarence, and Fifi. Person with surprising secret, Colonel Dijon. I think that surprising secret is supposed to be that he can walk, which is not really surprising to me. People who use secret passageways, Colonel and Lillian. Person who murdered most people, Lillian. And time of first visit to attic 945. Oh, okay. So we actually did get Super Sleuth, and it did flash. I just wasn't sure because I didn't know if the thermometer thing was supposed to go higher. So we actually made Super Sleuth. I'm very excited about that. The one that I have always had trouble with has been because I've done this whole game and gotten almost all of them except people with a telltale scent. And the trick to that one is when you walk into the bathroom at the beginning, you have to look at Lillian twice. Once to get the just generic text about Lillian, and then another one to see that she's freshening up. And then you have to hold still and just let her do her perfume. Just being in there doesn't work. You have to like look and then watch her do it. So that's, and let me tell you, it is frustrating to spend 4 hours on this game and play all the way through and nope, you didn't get Super Sleuth, sorry. So we made Super Sleuth, yay. I'm not sure what will happen if we close the notebook. I feel like I should do my sign off just in case because I don't trust the game to not crash out. But, so this has been Colonel's Bequest. Not a very long game. I think we did this in about 4.5 hours. And we probably could have done it faster if I hadn't jabbered on quite so much. Not a game that I would necessarily recommend it as having aged well. I mean, again, the stereotypes are there. They're offensive. You know, I can't... Yes, it was 1920. Yes, they're going for a certain era. But, you know, we have the mentally ill girl who's the dangerous killer. We have this... servant Celie who speaks in a very the cadence that she uses to speak is used to augment her as ignorant and superstitious. And she's a magic user, she uses voodoo, but that's not, I don't really feel like that was treated with respect. And really just the whole thing of this beautiful aging plantation and how sad it is that it's falling to the ground. I mean, tear it down. Plantations were terrible. Just tear it down and do something better with the land. But if you can set all that aside, and I'm not saying people should, just individually, if that's not going to bother you, I do love the game for the tremendous amount of atmosphere, and I think it really nails that claustrophobic closed room mystery feeling of, you know, people keep dying and you can't stop it, and are you gonna be next, and you know, I like that. So so in that sense, I do like the game a lot. And it was fun playing it. I had did a few evenings of this and I enjoyed it a lot and I needed this, so thank you for coming along if you came along with us. Once again, my name is Anna Mardal, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. And until then, we will close our notebook. I think the next option is just to exit. Okay. Congratulations, you have attained the highest possible sleuth rating. The curtain will now fall. We hope you enjoyed the performance. So with that, I will say adieu. Bye.